The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody back for another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight, have Greg Payton helping out with any questions, concerns, and to keep me on pace tonight.
Greg, you Good evening, everybody.
Our one and only Steve Welsh, I think, forgot about the night class tonight, so I guess we'll let him off the hook. But that being said, I see a lot of regular names in here, so I won't go bore you with the regular housekeeping stuff, and we will jump right into the SolidCAM What's New for the beta simulator. All right, so for those of you guys who don't know, beta simulator is something they added, I think it was 2 years ago now, and it is a simulator that is constantly being developed every release that's out, and that's why they've kept the name on their beta simulator. So 2 ways to get into this simulator is if you want to simulate all your operations, you can just click on operations and right click and do SolidCAM beta simulator. You can also highlight and cherry pick which ones you would like and do the beta simulator there. Or if you're in the operation itself, what you can do is hold your control key and click the simulation also, and that will open up the beta simulator for you. So let's take a peek. Has a lot of people, Ronnie,
hey,
why didn't you tell me to show my screen? Thanks, Ronnie. Is that what you're going to say, Greg?
Yeah, I was thinking it was my internet, but apparently it's everybody's.
Just the retired presenter that can't share his screen. Okay, so what I'll show you guys here is, thanks for keeping me on par here. So you guys can right click on your operations and do the SolidCAM beta simulator. Another way is you can highlight all your operations or come through and cherry pick the ones that you would like. Highlight them, right click and do SolidCAM simulator beta. Or if you're in that particular operation itself, you can hold your control key and just click the simulator button right there, and it will open up the SolidCAM beta simulator. Okay, so in this class, I'm going to kind of show you guys what's new with the beta simulator, but I'm also going to do a little bit of a review of how the beta simulator works and how everything is done inside there, just because the beta simulator is fairly new and a lot of you guys don't know about it, but there's some great things that are in there and great things that are being added as we speak. So with that being said here, let's go ahead and, oh, Bixby is not happy with me. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do the simulator. Now, this may be a little bit of review for some of you, but you guys can take this and dock it onto a completely separate screen. So I can, if you are running 2 monitors or 6 monitors, you can put this on any one screen that you would like and keep this open. Now, another great mode that is in here is called Mini-Me. And the Mini-Me is, I will uncheck the flyout, and basically what's going on here is I can do a simulation inside of my operation, as you can see right here. I'm sorry, where is, I'm looking for the Mini-Me.
Down on the left, Kevin, the little cube, there you go.
There we go, thanks. So now I can have I can be programming my part and have my simulation open at the same time. So I can play this through and I can still see my part right here as well. So if you guys are running an ultra wide monitor, this is where it kind of comes in handy, is because I can have this, you know, Mini-Me, you know, if I had a larger monitor over here, and I can be running see my SolidCAM part right here as well. All right, so to get to all these options, you'll see this little cube, and every once in a while it gets a little bit hard to see, but you'll see this little cube right here. So the flyout is going to enable, if you want to detach this onto a separate screen versus the mini-me here. I'm going to cover the stationary tool shortly here, but a new feature that they've added in here is under the advanced options is the dynamic information for you. So with everything that you guys see inside a SolidCAM, we have the little picture in the operations dialog that shows you what it's looking for in that information. That's kind of what it's doing right here. So if I'm down here, I can just hover my mouse over it, and it's going to tell me this first operation, we're doing a face mill. And if I click right on there, it's going to jump to line number 20, and it's going to give me my cycle time and all that. As well as over here, I got my tolerancing. I can drag and reposition stuff. I can take this dialog and move it around. So it's just a information dialog letting you know what information is being selected there. So it's new to the 2020, but as well as if I have that dynamic turned on and I have played it all the way through, I can come and zoom in on a specific tool path and see what feed rates I'm running, what spindle RPM I'm running, X, Y, and Z locations, which works really great. So if I'm coming in here, and if I need to zoom in on a specific tool path, I can see, we're doing an arc right here, what the length of it is, feed rate, all the information I need to know about that. As well as if I just zoom out just a little bit and I hover my mouse back over that, you can see, and if I get over here, well, at the beginning of that line, you can see the little red arrow. And that is indicating the direction of cut as well. So it's a great feature in here. You can kind of see right next to where that tool is on the, I can't move my mouse because it would bounce off, but you can see the direction of my cut that's going through there. So it's really cool. You can actually see where it's going. And if I wanted to start the tool path on there, I can just double click and it will start my tool right there and moving forward, okay? Now, I can, if I hover my mouse back over here, I can adjust my simulation speed. I can skip over and fast forward. I can do a step forward. A lot of the functions inside of the new beta simulator do have hotkeys set up as well. So those hotkeys, we can kind of see a list from right here, as well as down here, like a fast forward is Control Shift right. We have Control Shift left. We don't have a shortcut key for, so we do have a couple shortcut keys in here for you. And the shortcut keys came up a little bit today on our SolidCAM live class, and shortcut keys are huge to make your programming experience and CAD experience much faster. So in 2021, you guys will see that has all been added. So all your operations, everything inside of SolidCAM will have a hotkey assigned to it. So for those of you that are looking for that, it is coming for you. Okay. Any questions on the dynamic help?
Okay. Nothing so far.
So also what they've done in here is we can set our playback modes. So what that means right now is I'm running in performance mode, and I can tell by this little icon down here, it's set to performance. So what performance is doing is kind of like what you guys see in Solid Verify currently. We play it, it's going to do based off of how fast we're going. Let me zoom out here. How fast we're going down on our play bar right here. So if we play this through slow, our toolpath is going to show slow. As we speed up, it's going to increase. Now, we get the question, what is the red zone? So right now, if I'm using this, my speed bar right here and playing this through, what this is doing is it's doing a smooth cut or a smooth simulation all the way through, but what it's only doing is utilizing one core of your processor. Now, if we have a very large part and we just want to hurry up and skip to the end, we can bring it over to the red or turbo, and we can utilize multi-core functionality of that. So does that kind of make sense for everybody? Or did I make that sound clear, Greg?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So now what we can do is switch that over, and we can switch it over to machining time mode. So with machining time mode, this is what it's going to look like on your actual machine itself. Now we can also speed that up and slow it down, but the cool feature in here is it's going to show your rapids. It's going to show every single movement of what's going on. So you can see we got a nice arc going around and coming back into the cut. Now, if we're going and we're having a lot of rapids and we need to slow down those rapids, we can actually change those rapids. So we can go to the rapid feed override, and we can set it just like on your CNC machine. So we can set it to 1%, 25%, 50%, or 100%. So this will give you a much lower rapid feed rate to slow things down for you. So,
well, it's going to give you a really good representation of what that tool is actually doing as well.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of speeds that you should be expecting when you actually watch the tool run as it cuts.
Absolutely. And then, you know, Ronnie runs this part and he's like, man, I forgot to put a faster feed rate in there. And we're just watching, you know, paint dry here. So, and as well, I mean, I can come in here and I can see my feed rates. I can click on the line or just hover my mouse over the feed rate, and it'll tell me what the feed rate for each one of these is going to be here. Okay.
Now, just for clarification, this is a metric part, correct?
Yeah. Yes. That's why
for everybody that's seeing a feed rate of 1,000.
Yeah. 1,000 millimeters. Okay. Now, sorry, I'm just going through some notes to make sure I'm getting everything that should be showed for you guys. All right. And so, and this also, we have the case with our feed bar right here as well. So, you know, this is 64 times faster than what it's going to show up on your machine, or reverse of, you know, 0.1% of the feed rate. So now the nice thing that I can do with this is I can come do a top-down view, and I can minimize my holder, and I can actually see how much angle of engagement of cutting I'm getting in here too. So this is a nice feature, excuse me, in here. So I can see, you know, oh, well, you know, maybe on this corner I'm over engaging or taking a little too much off at that specific point. So you do have that option in there to show that around. And to rotate or switch your views is just like SolidWorks itself. We have the little bar up here. So if we want to go to, you know, our front view, you know, isometric views are all set up right here for you. Now, soon to be coming is a, we're going to get a, section view in here. So if we wanted to get a section view of a part, let's say we're doing some port machining on the engine block, where it's real nice and critical to see down inside those ports, but it's tough to kind of see when you have an entire model there. So that is coming as well. I think that's actually coming out in SP2. So we should see that coming very shortly. All right. Let's see. Now, one thing that I really like about this is in our simulation, let's go ahead and switch this back and pause this to performance mode. Now down here, you'll see that I have equally spaced out bars for each one of my operations. So here's my face mill, contour, As well, I forgot to tell you guys, if I'm on this bar down here, if I have my mouse hovered over it, I can use my center mouse wheel and wheel it through each single step as well. So it's a nice feature in there. If you're just trying to slowly step through something, you can just take your center mouse wheel and wheel it in or out to go along there. Now,
Kevin?
Yeah.
Real quick, we have a question that we might be getting away from, so I wanted to stop you now.
Yeah.
You were talking about section view and what's coming up, but there's also a question here about whether or not there's a measurement tool in the new simulation.
There is in there, but it is not in this current build. So what you guys will be able to do, let me just play through a little bit here, is I can come in here and do a measurement just like what we can do in SolidWorks. So what you'll actually be able to do is be able to select this. Oh, wait, I think maybe the section view. Oh, maybe they added the section view in here. Well, let's get back to that one. But you'll be able to click down here and it will give you the data, the measurement of that line. So exactly what you guys can do inside of SolidWorks, you can do inside of the beta simulator. Now it's going to be much more intuitive and accurate than what you guys currently see in Solid Verify. So in Solid Verify, all it is doing a, you click on a point and you click on a point, but it's not linking to a specific line or vertex or surface, where in the beta simulator it will. So where to ask that question, it's definitely coming. Now, since Greg got me here, let's do front section view, and we roll this around here, and we can come in here and take off our toolpath. And now the thing that I was telling you guys is coming is here. See, look how quick that is. You guys want it, and it's there. So now we can do the section view as it's playing through. So if we want to go to like a top down, we can see exactly the cut that's going on there. Gotta slow that way down though. And I can do a section view off of any direction that I would like. So just to get to that is right click on section views, and we can do normal to current view. We can do a section view from the top, bottom, all the different areas. If you want to adjust how much is showing, oops, let me get this rotated around here. I can just click and drag it out, and it will show how much of that is coming through. So let me just fast forward here. So now I can click and drag this around. So we have our front. I can go back to my section view and do, from bottom up. So I can click and see exactly how much of the part is cutting. So exactly what you guys can do inside SolidWorks, you can do in the beta simulator as well. If you just want to reset it.
Works really great for cutting any parts that have cavities to them, where the part may be occluding the tool and you can't see it. I've been dealing with mill turn stuff and doing any kind of turning part where there's a ID feature to it, where you want to see inside the bore with the boring bar. Yeah, definitely utilize the section view, because it makes things a lot easier for seeing what's going on.
Exactly. And if you guys don't like the, I'm not a huge fan of it, but if you don't like this hybrid view where you can kind of semi-transparent, you can also turn that off, and that will get everything turned off for you. And that must just be because I am in. I go to standard view, isometric. Well, let's see. There we go. So now it gets rid of that. Oh, maybe not. So we could get rid of that hybrid view. But if you just want to see a wireframe kind of like inside the SolidCAM 2D verification, as well as with hidden lines. And we can play that through as well. Okay, now that I fumbled up on the section view, what else can I mess up here? A big one that is my favorite, and I'm going to actually open up a different part for this, is the new Keep Tool Stationery. So let's do we'll do this part here. And currently, let's go ahead and play this through in Solid Verify first. So right now, this is sitting up on an indexer. Well, as it's playing through, it looks like our tool is moving versus our indexer. And to get to follow that around and keep that watching throughout the cut, we can slow it down. And then I have to go through and manually roll my toolpath around to get a good view of what's going on. Well, in the beta simulator, it is going to look identical. Come on. Okay, I have a dialog that's open somewhere. Where is my dialog? Maybe. Come on. It's happened to Mark today on his too. All right, give me 1 second here.
This may be a little bit as Kevin checks all 6 of the monitors on his desk for a rogue dialog box.
All right. I actually think it is. It's trying to install SolidWorks 2020 SP2. Greg, cue the drums in the background, please.
I just started humming elevator music. Now, keen fans of the night class will remember that you've been getting that notification to update your SolidWorks for the last 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I know. I suppose I should probably get to it one of these days. Okay, so now we're back. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the beta simulator here. So right now, if I play this through, we will see the exact same thing of what's going on here, which does not correctly represent what is going on. So now what we can do is come into here and we can do tool as stationary. And now I can rotate my tool around to get the best view. And we can see our part is actually moving all the way through the entire cut there. So where this works really good is when you're doing like simultaneous work, as I'm showing here. But if we have a very large part file also, this works very good on as well, because if we're trying to zoom into a specific area and get really down in there, you'll notice you'll have to kind of zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, where now it's all based off of the tool view. So, if we want to get a good spindle straight down view, I can see exactly what's going on here. And if we had a very large part, it stays in focus with that the entire time. So let me pause this and we'll hop out of here and show one other part here.
Now, when it comes to simulation like this is definitely a huge improvement over Solid Verify. But if you're looking for true kinematic motion of the machine, then you're still going to want to go with the machine simulation module.
Yeah, absolutely.
For true rotary kinematics.
Yep. So this one is another 5-axis part. Let's go ahead and play this through here. And we'll do, I think my stock got a little messed up here.
Yeah, I think we had a meltdown in sector 4.
Yeah, there we go. Nope, it just got programmed wrong. Okay, so we'll scratch that one. Let me get into a large part file here. And let's go quick access here. And try to find one that I can really zoom in. Let's just open this guy up here. Okay, so we have, we'll pretend this is a fairly large part here. So what we can do, go to SolidCAM data, we'll maximize this, and we will do tool stationary, and I want to always see what's right next to that tip. So now, slow this down here, I can play this through, and now I don't have to worry about zooming in and out to follow that tool throughout the entire cut. So if I come here, and let's say I wanted to keep zoomed in on this tool, but now I have to constantly keep following this around, or zooming in and out, where, you know, on these larger part files, you're going to be constantly bouncing back and forth. So this is I don't know, I think it's one of my favorite features that they added in here to really get focused on seeing exactly what a good view of that tool that is going on there.
Cool. Now, Ronnie had a question about when you're running the beta simulator in a secondary window and your operation is recalculated, how does the simulator respond to that? So will it automatically update, or will you have to shut down the operation and reopen the simulation?
Nope, you can leave it open.
Shut down the simulation and reopen it.
Yep, you can leave it open, but what you're going to want to do, Ronnie, is after you do a save and calculate, come in here and then just hit the reset button or reload button. And what it will do is it will reload everything that's going through there, and then just hit the play button for that specific one. So, I mean, let's just try it here. I'll close out of here, and well, actually, I'll have to reopen that. Let's say we're doing this HSR operation. I'll open up the beta simulator, and we'll go ahead and play this through. Now, I'll just kind of scoot that over for a second here. And now, instead of doing a facet, let's do passes. Let's do a step down of 4 millimeters here. Save and calculate. And I'll kind of keep this over here at the same time. Now, all I have to do, come in here and just do the reload and play it through again. So this will, by reloading that, you can still keep that simulator open, but it will kind of refresh and reload updated stock, updated toolpath, or anything along that lines.
Now, Kevin, that 1 millimeter change it isn't really producing noticeable differences here. What do you think about upping that depth of cut? Maybe like let's double it, for instance, from 3 to 6.
Let's go 10.
Going huge. Love it.
Come on, you guys know me by now. We go big or go home. Okay, so now we can see that we really shouldn't get any machining up on the top here. And if we want, let's go ahead and simulate this. And I still have my beta simulator open over here. Let's do a solid verify. And play that through. And so we should see something significant. So that's what it looks like there. This is what it looks like now. Let me just scoot that over for a second here. Hop out of there and bring this back. Come in here, reset. Ooh, did it make a liar out of me? Ooh, maybe I need a reset. Is that the one? Sorry guys, I could have sworn there was a shortcut where we could do it where we didn't have to close it and reopen it, but apparently we're gonna have to. Let's try it. Okay, so my apologies. You will have to shut down, even though that it's docked in a separate window. I must have heard there's talk of adding that in there. I could have sworn it was in here, but we tried reset and we tried reload.
I think you did reset twice, and that's what chat is saying as well.
Try reload, you press. Oh, okay. So, shoot. Let's try this again here. So play that through. We'll let that play through on the other screen. I'm going to change this back to 3 millimeters. Save and calculate. Let it finish calculating here. And we will go to reload. Nope, still not updating for us. So I will, I'll get with Anthony tomorrow morning and see what we can do to get that addressed, to keep that so we don't have to keep constantly closing out of the beta simulator and reopen it for you guys. Man, tonight is not my night, Greg.
Well, it's Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and definitely.
That's your computer telling you that celebrate.
Yeah, time for chips and salsa. All right, well, that is everything in a nut. Well, that's pretty much everything in the beta simulator of what's new and the functionality in there. Is there anyone that would like to see or ask questions on anything to do with the beta simulator, the what's new or how it works?
I would like to ask one on the how it works, just because we're giving a general overview as well. The difference between the recording mode and the non-recording mode, I think would be a good one to touch upon as well.
So with record, see, we record this. See, they keep changing this, so I'm not sure. So let me play this through here with it recorded. So now, if I go back through and reverse it, I can actually come through. It's not working like I thought it was.
Yeah, I think you took it out of recording mode.
Okay, so now we're recording. It should be adding material back in as I come back through.
I don't think you're in record mode because you don't have the red line over the scrubber bar letting you know that you had recorded. So go ahead.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, so what Greg's saying is this little red bar that's letting us know it's being recorded. But I thought with the recording, it would have added material back in there.
Take it back to the very beginning. Reset the material condition. And we'll just start fresh.
All right.
Make sure it's on record.
Yep, we're on record, right?
Okay.
Maybe that's what it was. We didn't speed up here. All right, so now if I run this back through, you can see that it's adding the material back in there. So let's say I'm kind of more concerned about this initial lead in, or as it's coming into the material here. I can kind of see exactly what's going on. I can go back and forth through that, and I can follow that all the way through. So now that it's been recorded in there, it's not a physical recording that is stored other than use for doing forward and reverse here. So I can just kind of move this along forward or backwards now and see exactly what's going on. So the real nice feature with this is in Solid Verify, if you want to replay something or stop and back up, there is no feature. You just have to basically let it play through and replay that operation. Where when recording mode is on, and by default it is on for you, you can go back through and we can go forward or backwards and kind of see exactly what is going on in that particular cut right there. So that makes sense for everyone?
Yeah, and vice versa too. If you're not concerned about the material removal, you want to see the behavior of the tool relative to the part model, you could take that recording off. That way you're not having to load that updated stock file.
Yep.
So let's say you have a very large mold file. You can turn that recording off and have it simulate much smoother for these large files because it doesn't have to generate the remaining stock file.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Now, one other thing I would like to show you guys with this beta simulator here is, let me expand it out and let's go ahead and play. I got one, I'll just skip over that one. So the progress bar at the bottom. So right now I have it equally spaced out. So basically set up as this operation or this tool is going to be blue. Next tool or operation is going to be this pea green color. And what you can do is set up this progress bar. So, and to change it, you just right click anywhere and we can do display by time. So I can see now, you know, this green area and my yellow area is eating up a lot of time in there. So maybe I can go back through and change that up. So, or I can do by display by number of moves. So I can see right now, anything that is running in the green with that specific tool is taking up a lot of line numbers in there. Where my last operation, or even a very, you guys can barely see it, but there's a little tiny hint of purple there, is hardly using anything at all. So a couple of different ways of showing you how the progress bar down here works. And we can click and drag that all the way through and move it around however we want, and then hit the play button and go through that way. So.
Yeah, definitely play with it and get a feel for what each mode does. That way you know how to best apply it to your projects.
And
Like the steps move. If you got a lot of surfacing in a drilling operation, that drilling operation is going to barely show up at all.
yeah,
So make sure how you want to view it matches the types of operations that you're trying to view.
yep. And a lot of things to, remember too is, if you're trying to change something up, come in and right click on some of the stuff and it will, we can load defaults, we can hide this or show it. We can show the different views. We can hop over to our section view at this point and do from the bottom, and I can, raise it up or down. Or come down to the progress bar down here and, switch stuff up, as well as coming over here and you can right click on this as well and get all these to pop up as well. So, and soon there'll be a measurement feature that I think Jake was looking for right inside here also. That is it. Do we have got any other ones, Greg?
There was one more question in the panel, and it's one that you covered already, but the accessing of the new beta simulator from within an operations window.
Oh, yeah.
Can you go over that one more time? That way it's clear.
So to get to regular simulation, you're just going to click on your simulation just by itself. Now, if you inside of the operation, if you want to get right to the beta simulator, hold down your control key on your keyboard and then click simulate, and it will launch the beta simulator for you that way. So that's how to do it inside of the operation itself. Now, if you are want a couple operations, you can right click and do the SolidCAM beta simulator, or we can come up to the top, right click and do beta simulator here. And the only reason it's showing grayed out right now is because I have an operation that is uncalculated here. But inside the operation, just hit control, click your simulate, and it will pull it up for you. And it's not showing correctly because my updated stock isn't coming through because I have an operation out of sync right here. So anything else, guys? Must be it for the beta simulator. So with that being said, we are going to be covering next week. What are we covering next week, Greg? Well, let's find out, Jenny. The night class.
See, I don't like spoilers, so I'm going to plug my ears.
So we're going to be covering the new operation of undercutting inside a SolidCAM. This is going to be a pretty quick class, geared mainly in the HSS department, but it is a completely new operation in there that we'll be going through next Tuesday. And for those of you guys that don't know, and Ronnie, I'm sad that I don't see you in there because I have to pick on somebody else named Jake in the SolidCAM Live. But for those of you guys that are watching this, we do a daily SolidCAM half-hour training class of live, and we basically go through any questions that you guys have. Jake has been a huge help coming up with questions for this. But if you guys would like to see something during the day, especially during this crazy times, you guys can tune in every day at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And if you'd like to sign up for that, get the little American flag up there, and then we can go to webinars and upcoming webinars, and it will bring you right to the training webinar, which is today's, but tomorrow it will say May 6th in there for you. And if you want, you can just register the one time and just save that link, because that same link is going to be active through every single day. So great place to come and go through there. And Ronnie, you are far from retired. So if you're retired, that gives you all the time in the world to watch these SolidCAM live classes.
Yeah, and whereas the night classes are a little more scheduled in what we're covering, the SolidCAM Live really gives you an opportunity to focus in on the things that you want to see more in depth sooner than it may be covered on the KevCAM night class.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it's a great service you and Mark are providing during the day.
Yep. And we're basically doing this just to anything that we can do to help you guys out training wise and learning the software more and more each day. I kind of look at the SolidCAM Live as also a SolidCAM tips and tricks as well. So, but I just want to thank everybody for joining the night class. We had a great attendance tonight. See a couple new names that popped in here, so hopefully you guys will, didn't miss anything. If you did, you guys can go over to the SolidCAM University channel. Here's all the SolidCAM Live ones that we've been doing. Gives you a little brief one that we were talking about that specific day, as well as other night classes, and as well as basically how to do anything in their site or software. There's a video for it, so come check it out on SolidCAM University. But I will let you guys run, and just want to thank you for joining the night class tonight, and we will see you next Tuesday. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Bye, guys.